What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. We had a trade in baseball last night as free agency starts to really heat up as the winter meetings are going on right now. And I think they started 2 days ago and they're coming to an end at some point today. The Yankees and Red Sox make a rare trade for at least a somewhat major player. The Yankees acquire outfielder Alex Verdugo from the Red Sox. In exchange, they send 3 prospects to Boston: Richard Fitz, Greg Weissart, and Nicholas Judas. Verdugo had a decent year last year. Of course, he was the centerpiece of the infamous Mookie Betts trade, and Boston sent Mookie Betts to the Dodgers. They got him in return. Verdugo last year hit 264, 13 homers, 54 RBI, 745 OPS. We had like an okay year last year. He was a decent hitter. He was a pretty good outfielder. He can get on base. He's no star, but he's a decent player. Going the other way, Richard Fitz, he pitched in Double-A for the Yanks last year. Over 152 in the third innings. He had a 3.48 ERA, went 11-5, 162 strikeouts against 43 walks. Greg Weissart last year had an ERA just over 4 in 17 appearances of the bullpen, and Nicholas Judas was drafted only last year. He has not appeared. He has not played yet in the minor league. He's still very young. So that's the return for the Red Sox. And they got a kid in Fitz who at least did pitch well last year in Double-A. This kid Weissart's kind of an unknown. Didn't do a whole lot last year out of the bullpen. And obviously Nicholas Judas was an 8th round pick a year ago, so he's still an unknown. But the Red Sox have been shopping him for a while. They actually, they were shopping at the trade deadline last year. Have been shopping him since the offseason began, and they sent him out. I'm not sure. Maybe they're trying to spend that money to try and bring in somebody else. I know during the trade deadline they were trying to move him for some more pitching. Weren't able to do it. Didn't pull the trigger. Maybe now they're hoping to open up some money, maybe for them to sign a big name pitcher like Yamamoto or Shoto Imanga or Jordan Montgomery or something. Maybe bring back Eduardo Rodriguez, of course, started his career in Boston, but Alex Verdugo is now a New York Yankee, so to me, they still need one more bat. Apparently, they are the favorites for Juan Soto right now, making a trade for him, the San Diego Padres superstar. If they get him, that would definitely improve the line. That you have him and Verdugo, and a outfield of Soto, Verdugo, and Judge is absolutely insane. So we'll see what the Yankees do. There's a lot of rumors. The major players for Yoshino Yamamoto, the Yankees, Mets, and Giants. I think the Dodgers are involved. Maybe the Red Sox. Ohtani, it looks like his decision's coming very soon. We heard possibly within the next few days. It appears the two front runners are the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, who I would have never thought would be involved in this. But the Blue Jays appear to be right there. Apparently, he doesn't want to play in New York. A lot of teams have dropped out. Boston was right there for a while. They dropped out. Texas was right there for they dropped out. The Mets, who were kind of like, all right, obviously, at this point a year ago, we thought it was almost a sure conclusion that the Mets were going to be the favorite for him, maybe along with the Dodgers. But after how the year went, they kind of faded off, but they were still there because of who their owner is. And, they officially dropped out. The Yankees really never pursued him, and then there's a report that Ohtani doesn't really want to play in New York anyway. There's like maybe a thing, if Ohtani's a pretty low-key kind of guy. Like in LA, he'd be like the 900th most famous person. But also there's a lot of pressure in Toronto. He'd be probably the most famous person over there. But also, Toronto is not like the biggest baseball town in the world. So we shall see what happens. But those are the rumors going on around about MLB free agency. The MLB draft order was determined last night. We had the draft lottery. The Cleveland Guardians got the number 1 overall pick. They had a 2% chance at the number 1 overall pick, the 9th best odds, and they got number 1 overall pick. And the Cincinnati Red actually got the 2nd pick. They had a 0.9% to get the 1st pick. They ended up with the 2nd pick in the draft, and Colorado gets the 3rd pick. Oakland gets the 4th pick. The White Sox will get the 5th pick, and Kansas City gets the 6th pick. So those are the top 6 in the MLB draft order. NBA in-season tournament was last night. Bucks over the Knicks, 146-122. Random had 41 on the loss. Knicks just could not guard the perimeter. Giannis had 35-10 assists and 8 rebounds. Now, obviously, it was very high scoring in the first half. They were right there. It was like Milwaukee was up by a couple points. It was like 76-72 or something. Then the Knicks, who shot the lights out in the first half but couldn't stop anything and couldn't stop the Bucks. They're like the Bucks were like 11 or 13 from 3 in that first half, and then in the second half, not only could they continually couldn't stop the Bucks. They gave up 146. They also could score themselves. So that's a very bad combo. And then the Lakers snuck past the Suns. So in-season tournament semifinals is set. It will be Bucks, Pacers, and then on the west side it will be Lakers and Pelicans. And another small trade, MLB, the Braves flip Marco Gonzalez. Of course, they got him from Seattle, and Seattle's basically salaried him along with Jared Kalanick and Evan White. And they sent Jackson Kowar, who's basically a depth reliever and a prospect the other way. They have flipped Marco Gonzalez to Pittsburgh for a player to be named later. I think this is actually a pretty good move for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They got a guy who last year struggled and had a lot of arm problems. He's had arm problems over his career, but had a 4.1 ERA in 25 starts 2 years ago. The last time he played a full season was in 2019, because obviously 2020 was a pandemic year, and he was before last year was a solid pitcher. He had a sub-4. He had anywhere from like 3.8 to 4 for a couple of years. Then he had a 3.1 in the pandemic year. 2 years ago, he had a 4.1 ERA in the 25 starts, and that also this past year struggled for 5.2 in only 10 starts. But if he can bounce back, he could be a solid middle of the rotation arm for the Pirates, who have obviously had a lot of trouble developing starting pitchers lately. You've had a lot of young stars either be top prospect and flop, or be kind of okay and then leave and then break out. Obviously Garrett Cole was like a good pitcher there. He goes to Houston, and obviously he comes a stud. He obviously just won his first Cy Young with the Yankees this past season. Jameson Taillon's a guy who didn't work out. It's weird because they find like dominant closers or relievers. They grow on trees over there. But stars, for whatever reason, they just can't do it. Mitch Keller is just coming into his own now. Still really hasn't reached his full potential to me. It's kind of taking a lot longer than expected. There's been so many guys. Trevor Williams was the guy we thought could be an all-star. Didn't end up working out. So, but they pick up Marco Gonzalez. All right, let's talk about some football. I'm going to do a little NFL standings breakdown. First, we'll go over the divisional standings, and then we'll go into the playoff picture. Obviously, we're in Week 14, so we're in the back half of the NFL season. Only have another 5 weeks to go in the NFL season. Then will be the playoffs. The AFC East, Miami looks like they're gonna win that division. They're at 9-3. The Bills at 6-6. Of course, they've been struggling a bit. Josh Allen's had an inconsistent year. After they fired their offensive coordinator a couple of weeks ago. Now Von Miller, who's your star pass rusher, is in trouble off the field. And although I'm hearing they may still play him because he's not expected to be put on the exempt list. And Brandon Beane said they're still weighing their option, but it looks like they're going to play him. Obviously, the Jets are at 4-8. Almost 5 in a row. They can't score, and the Patriots are at 2-10 are just god awful. AFC North, the Ravens lead at 9-3. Looks like they're going to win that division. You have the Steelers 7-5. Steelers got to be the worst 7-5 team I've ever seen. Their offense is horrible. Now their quarterback Kenny Pickett's out, so they're starting Mitch Trubisky on Thursday against New England. By the way, it is Wednesday, so it is game picks day. So I'll get to that very, very shortly. And Cleveland's also at 7-5. Also, they've had a lot of quarterback issues. Deshaun Watson's only played a few games this year. He hasn't looked good. He's out for the year. PJ Walker has started a couple of games. Dorian Thompson-Robinson started a couple of games. He's out. Joe Flacco started this past week. They picked some Joe Flacco off the street. They've had 4 different quarterbacks. Obviously, you lose your star back, Chubb, for the year early in the season. But kudos to them for being at 7-5, so they're right there. And the Bengals are at 6-6. Obviously, they just lost Joe Burrow for the year a couple of weeks ago with the wrist injury. But Jake Browning did play well against Jacksonville in the big win on Monday night. So we'll see what happens there. AFC South, Jaguars are at 8-4. All right, so the MRI came back for Trevor Lawrence. He avoided something catastrophic. For now, it's a high ankle sprain, uncertain for this week's game. but it definitely could have been worse. They're at 8-4. The AFC South has been a lot tighter than people think. So, I mean, I'm not sold on Jacksonville. I don't think that they have the ability to go on a deep playoff run even with him, but without him, there's no shot. Their backup is CJ Buffard, who actually looked okay in limited action on Monday night. He led the field goal drive at the end of the game, end of the fourth quarter, to send it to overtime. I mean, he played a little bit for the 49ers a few years ago. He's played enough football where he could probably, I don't know what their schedule looks like the rest of the way. He should at least be able to get them to the playoffs and probably can win the division, just because the division isn't that great. But, Jacksonville's in an interesting spot. They're at 8-4. You have Indianapolis at 7-5. Kudos to Indianapolis. I think Shane Steichen, he's an underrated Coach of the Year candidate. He's done a really good job. You came in with a rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson, who blew out his shoulder week 4 after the season. You've had Gardner Minshew starting the whole year. Jonathan Taylor, your star back in and out of the lineup. A really young team that's been so mediocre for so long, as bad as they were last year. And to be potential only a game out of their own division and be right there in the playoff picture, kudos to them and to Shane Steichen in Indianapolis Colts. Gardner Minshew, he's been serviceable. He hasn't been bad. You have Texas 7-5. To me, if they make the playoffs, to make Ryan's the Coach of the Year. He's done a great job. CJ Stroud, absolute dog. He's got to be offensive rookie of the year. Losing Tank Dell, your top receiver for the year, really hurts. But they're right there, and the Titans are 4-8. Their offense is just absolutely pitiful. AFC West, you have a Chiefs is 8-4. The North Division isn't that great. Broncos, who have been a lot better than expected, just had a 5-game win streak snapped against Houston this past week. They're at 6-6. You have a Chargers at 5-7. I mean, I don't even need to say what the problem is. The problem with Brandon Staley. Please fire that man. Please. I would have done it about 6 weeks ago, but no, excuse me. I stand correct. I would have done it last year after the playoff loss. If you want to bring him back this year, right, I would have fired him at least 6 weeks ago, but he's still here. So he's dragging them into the gutter. And the Raiders are at 5-7. Obviously, they're kind of a mess. I mean, their quarterback is Aiden O'Connell. Looks like Derek Carr with an ugly mustache, basically. So Chiefs should win that division. Obviously, NFC East got the Eagles at 10-2, best record in football. But obviously, just got blown up by San Francisco this past week. Dallas at 9-3. I mean, I don't expect Dallas to do anything in the playoffs because they haven't done so in 27 years. But they are at 9-3. Giants at 4-8. Have won the last two. Against the Commanders and the Patriots, who suck, but they have. I'm not gonna lie. Tommy DeVito has actually looked kind of serviceable. He popped off against Washington. He was serviceable against New England, whose defense has actually been playing out of their mind lately. Just their offense is historically bad. So it's just similar to the Jets. But they're somehow only 2 games out of a playoff spot. I doubt they're gonna make it, but they're there. They're on the bottom of the screen, but they're on the screen. And the Commanders are 4-9. Good God. I do like Sam Howell. I know, he's been a little bit turnover prone, but he's still young. That offensive line is pitiful. The coaching there is pitiful. Please follow Ron Rivera, and Eric Bieniemy should follow him. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of changes in Washington. Jack Del Rio, the D coordinator, is already gone, and there's going to be more training. Ron Rivera is gone. I think Eric Bieniemy will follow him out the door. If he needs a head coach job, that is a travesty. I'm sorry. I don't know if even the GM Marty Herner is going to stick around. I don't know. Josh Howard and Matt Johnson will make changes to this god-awful Commanders team. That's got potential. They got potential in Howell. They got some nice receivers. Just that defense is beyond pitiful. NFC North is basically over. Lions are at 9-3. Vikings have been 6-6. They've hung on, despite not having the best receiver in football, Justin Jefferson, for a lot of this year. And of course, you hasn't had Kirk Cousins in a while with the torn Achilles. The Green Bay Packers are right there at 6-6. They're right there in the playoff picture. They've won 3 in a row. Jordan Love has last 3 games has played really well. They're all of a sudden turning it around. And then the Bears are 4-8. They suck on the list, you want me to say. NFC South, that god-awful NFC South. The Falcons are at 2-6. They are somehow in first place. I don't understand. They are so mediocre. Desmond Ridder is horrible. R. Smith doesn't, Arthur Smith is confusing. There are sometimes I think he's his offensive guru, his great coach that just needs a this wasn't dealt a great hand. And there are sometimes where I think this dude is the stupidest idiot on the planet. I mean, if he wins the division, I don't think you can fire him. To me, and you get him a better quarterback. Look at the quarterbacks he had. He had his first year. He had washed Matt Ryan. Then last year he had Marcus Mariota and rookie Desmond Ritter. Now he has Desmond Ritter and Taylor Heineke. Like, get him a quarterback, please. Bucks go 5-7, not very good. Todd Bowles get fired after the year, please, please, please. Great defensive coordinator, not a good head coach. He's like him and Robert Saleh are the same person, except Saleh's a little bit of a better head coach, but both I don't think are very good. But Bucks are 5-7. Saints are at 5-7. Derek Carr's got suffered an injury for the 96th time this year. Every single time that guy gets hit, he crumble. I don't understand. And if they don't win the division, Dennis Allen should be exiled from the NFL. And the Panthers are 1-11. There's some reports coming out that something's going on over there. They said there's a Hunger Games attitude or something. I don't even know what that means. I know I don't follow that whole movie series, book series. I don't even know what that means. Bleacher Report just put it out. I'm gonna read it later today, and then I'll probably report on that sometime next week. And by the way, at the end of this, I'm gonna make a little announcement of the future of the show for the next month or two. Might be some changes for some things that are gonna happen. I'll explain that a little later. But God, they have a 1-11. Bryce Young has struggled this year. Obviously, the weapons there aren't very good. The O-line is horrible. They can't stop a nosebleed. Obviously, they already fired their coach. They're abysmal. It's not that their owner, Dave Tepper, is a clown. And the NFC West, 49ers are at 9-3. They are rolling right now. Brock Purdy overall has played great this year. Obviously, got that scary D-line. Got the Rams at 6-6. Who have hung in there. Seattle at 6-6. Seattle is really confusing. On paper, this team should be, to me, is like a 10-11 win team. They're so good, and then all of a sudden, and then they go out on the field, and they're the most mediocre team I've ever seen. I think the problem, honestly, is Geno Smith. He's not that great. Arizona's 3-10. They're not very good, kind of as expected. To me, I will say they've been a lot more competitive than I thought. I thought this team was going to be at best 2-15. But so the fact that they even won 3 games here, and they, for the most part, have been very competitive. There has not been that many games where they've got absolutely just demolished, which I thought they were gonna be losing, 37-10, 33-9, 41-13, all year. Maybe they'll squeak a win here or there, end up 2-15, 3-14. The fact that they're 3-10 right now, and they've been competitive pretty much the whole year. Kudos to them. They've considering the circumstances. Obviously now they have Connor Urbeck, it helps a little bit, but they've been competitive most of the year. All right, before we can do the NFL game picks, all the bowl games were announced. There is 42 bowl games. I don't know why there was 42 bowl games. I don't understand. I don't get it. All right, next we are going to go through all of the bowl games in college football. They were announced. There is 42 bowl games. That is way too many. If you go 500, you win 6 games and you're 500, you get into a bowl game. That's, to me, is stupid. You got unranked team up and down the clock in a bowl game. I don't know why there are so many. It used to be 5. That was 42. It's too many. Also, why do they only need to be sponsored by all this weird stuff? This one's just so weird. So, the first bowl game starts on December 16th. It will be the Myrtle Beach Bowl between Georgia Southern and Ohio. You have the Cricket Celebration Bowl. I'll update when the games are on a different day as it goes on. The Cricket Celebration Bowl. So the Celebration Bowl is brought to you by Cricket. I'm sure you've seen their really cringy commercials. We Howard against Florida A&M. The Myrtle Beach Bowl will be in South Carolina. The Cricket Celebration Bowl will be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where the Falcons play. The R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, I don't even know what R+L Carriers is, but that'll be Jacksonville State against Louisiana in the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. You have the avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. Like just call it the avocados. I don't need to know where they're from. The Miami, Ohio against Appalachian State. That'll be in Orlando at FBC Morgan Stadium. Don't know who plays there, what that is, but yeah, the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl. I don't know what it is. Like these sponsors, I don't get it. You have New Mexico State against Fresno State. That'll be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You have the LA Bowl. It'll be UCLA against Boise State. That'll be in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, where the Chargers and the Rams play. And then you have the Radiance Technology Independence Bowl. It'll be Cal against Texas Tech. That'll be in Louisiana. On December 18th, it will be the famous Toastery Bowl. Wow, these sponsors are really weird. Western Kentucky against Old Dominion. On the 19th, you have the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. It'll be UTSA against Marshall in Texas. On the 21st, it'll be the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. Do we need a website representing a college football game? Do we? Be South Florida against Syracuse in Boca Raton. Then on the 22nd, you have the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. It'll be Georgia Tech against UCF. That will be in Raymond James Stadium, where Tampa Bay Buccaneers play. The 23rd, so the day before Christmas Eve, this is where we actually get some decent bowl games, and then we get into the New York Six very shortly. The Birmingham Bowl will be Troy versus Duke in Birmingham, Alabama. The Camellia Bowl will be Arkansas State against Northern Illinois. That will be in Montgomery, Alabama. The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl will be James Madison against Armed Force. That should be a lot of fun to watch. You have the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Will be Georgia State against Utah State in Boise. The 68 Ventures Bowl will be South Alabama against Eastern Michigan. I thought these games were starting to get a little better. I guess they're not. You have the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Will be Utah against Northwestern. That's not a terrible game. That'll be where they're taking place, where the Raiders play in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. You have the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. It'll be Coastal Carolina against San Jose State. That's going to be in Honolulu. Then the 26th, so the day after Christmas, Quick Lane Bowl will be Bowling Green against Minnesota. Actually in Ford Field, where the Detroit Lions play. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl will be Texas State against Rice in Dallas. The stadium is named after Gerald Ford, the former president. You have the Guaranteed Rate Bowl will be Kansas against UNLV. So Kansas is actually decent this year. That's at Chase Field where the Arizona Diamondbacks play. The baseball team in Phoenix. The 27th will be the Military Bowl, which is presented by GoBowling.com. I don't know why we needed that, but apparently we did. We Virginia Tech against Tulane. So that's a pretty good game. The Duke's Mayo Bowl will be North Carolina against West Virginia at the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. You have the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Be Louisville against USC. That should be a good game. That being said, Caleb Williams is not expected to play in that game, so Louisville's probably going to win. It's at Petco Park where the San Diego Padres play, and then the Tax-Act Texas Bowl will be Texas A&M against Oklahoma State. Should be pretty good. The 28th will be the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. And the way Wasabi is sponsoring anything. SMU against Boston College. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Rutgers against Miami. I will say shout out to the Scarlet Knights for being bowl eligible this year. The Pop-Tarts Bowl will be NC State against Kansas State in Orlando. Then you have the Alamo Bowl, Arizona against Oklahoma in San Antonio. The 29th, you have the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl will be Clemson against Kentucky. So two SEC teams that are kind of decent this year. Clemson obviously is kind of fallen off. You have Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Wow. Tony the Tigers are sponsor now? Wow. Oregon State against Notre Dame, so that should be a good game. Oil Zone Liberty Bowl will be Memphis against Iowa State. The 30th, so the day before New Year's Eve. Actually, no, I'm actually going to scroll back up here because the New Year's Six Bowl, I should actually go over those. On the 29th, you have the Cotton Bowl, which is number 9 Missouri against number 7 Ohio State. That should be a great game. On the 30th, you have the Peach Bowl, which is number 11 Ole Miss against number 10 Penn State. The Orange Bowl, which is number 6 Georgia against number 5 Florida State. That should be a banger of a game. And you have some other smaller games around that time. The 30th, you have the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl, Auburn against Maryland. And you also have the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. Toledo against Wyoming. And then you also have on New Year's Day, you have, a couple of them don't really matter. The Aurelia Quest Bowl, Wisconsin against LSU, that'll be where taking place where the Buccaneers play in Tampa. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl will be Iowa against Tennessee. And then you have, of course, also on New Year's Day, you have the Fiesta Bowl, which will be number 23 Liberty against number 8 Oregon. And then, of course, you have the college football playoff games at 5 in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. At 5 o'clock, it'll be number 4 Alabama against number 1 Michigan. And then at 8:45, it'll be the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Number 3 Texas against number 2 Washington. Those are all your bowl games. Now it's time for game picks for the NFL. So, Week 14, Thursday Night Football, it will be Patriots against the Steelers. That's going to be an awful game. I'll take the Steelers. Mitch Trubisky and the Steelers over Bailey Zappi and the Patriots. Will be an awful game. I'll take Steelers to squeak by, which would be really ugly. The 1 o'clock slate, Bucks, Falcons. I'll take the Falcons. Baker Mayfield, not that good. Norris hasn't read ours. They're both mid, but I'll take the Falcons to squeak by. Lions, Bears, I'm taking Lions. Bears suck. I'm taking the Lions. Colts, Bengals. I'm actually going to take the Colts. They've been playing well. I like what I've seen from them. I'm not sure if Jake Browning can go for another 350 yards. Not sure if he has that in him. I'll take the Colts. Jaguars, Browns. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to play. So I'm actually going to take Cleveland because that Cleveland defense is outstanding. It's phenomenal. And I think we're going to get C.J. Beathard in that game, which will hurt Jacksonville. Joe Flacco, they got blown up by the Rams. They actually looked pretty good in that game. So I will take Cleveland. I'll actually take Cleveland in that one. Panthers, Saints. I'll take the Saints. Saints aren't very good. Derek Carr might not play. Maybe Jameis Winston. I don't know. Derek Carr is not that good anyway. But Carolina has got something's going on over there. Taking the Saints. Texans, Jets, taking the Texans. I have no confidence in the Jets anymore. And they're not being attacked. It's not going to be occurring. It just won't be. They can't score. I don't know who the quarterback is. They cut Tim Boyle. I don't know if it's going to be Zach Wilson, who probably doesn't want to play. I don't know if it'll be Trevor Siemian, who played in the fourth quarter last week. They brought Brett Rippon off Seattle's practice squad. Texans win by a lot. They'll definitely cover the 5.5. Rams, Ravens. Take the Ravens. They look really good this year. We'll say Puka Nacua already over 1,000 yards. So that's crazy. 405 games. Vikings, Raiders. Could take the Vikings. Looks like Josh Dobbs is going to start. I know he was awful 2 weeks ago against the Bears right before the bye, but Raiders defense is terrible. I think it'll be a little bit better. Seahawks, 49ers. I'm taking the Niners. They're just, right now, they're the best team in football. They should be favored to win it all, to be honest. I'm taking the 49ers. You might get a repeat of what happened on Thanksgiving night when they blew up the Seahawks. Bills, Chiefs. Taking the Chiefs. Josh Allen's been a turnover machine. I'm not sure if Miller's playing. I'm taking the Chiefs in that one. I think they'll definitely play better than they did against the Packers. Broncos, Chargers. I'm going to take Denver. The defense play a lot better. The Chargers, they're just so poorly coached. I'll take the Broncos in that one. Eagles, Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I'm taking the Eagles. Cowboys are frauds. I don't know what to say. Eagles might be as well, but they'll beat Dallas. We have 2 Monday night games this week because we had some flexing going around. We have Titans, Dolphins. Definitely taking the Dolphins. They're going to dominate. And you have Packers and Giants, which is an interesting one. I'm going to take Green Bay. Jordan's been playing really well. That actually could be an underrated game. You'll see what Tommy DeVito does. But I'll take the Packers. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Tomorrow, the 4 of us will be doing the Firing Squad podcast. Then I will not have access to the suite until the middle of January. But I do plan to do something next week, at least a couple of times. And then from the 17th until Christmas Day, I won't be doing anything because I'll be on vacation in Florida. Then I'll probably do something almost every day on Zoom for probably about 3 weeks or so. Then I'll have access to the podcast suite again. So keep your eye on that. So I'll be on Zoom for next bunch of weeks. But Firing Squad podcast tomorrow. quickly with myself, Justin, Liam, and Ashton. And then, you'll probably see me on Zoom probably Monday, the 11th, I think that is. You'll probably see me on Zoom then. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.